Building a Super Bowl winning team is one of the most difficult tasks in sports.
Facts.
Not only do you have to be able to acquire enough talent to be able to do so, but you
Facts.
also have to be able to remain under the salary cap too.
And
then
retain
those
the
players
talent.
have to perform and stay healthy, and you get the point.
Facts.
And every year, players are eligible for contract extensions, which can be tense for both sides, meaning from the player's agent side, or sometimes referred to as the player's camp, and of course the NFL team. The player side wants to be paid and have the chance to receive a potential 9-figure contract that would change their and their family's lives forever, while the team's front office has to act in the long-term best interest of the franchise.
And this is why I will never slander a person or a player for trying to secure money for his family and his, you know what I'm saying, his personal gain. Because what do people that take these team-friendly deals, what happens? They don't end up winning championships. The only people that you can say this ever worked out for was Tom Brady and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's in the NBA. And Tom Brady is Tom Brady, so you can't even compare yourself to him. But team-friendly deals honestly don't work out because you have to hope everything else works out for you to get this ring. But even if you get the ring, would you rather have $500 million in career earnings and no ring, or a ring and you only made $100 million? I'll take $500 million and no ring.
And in today's video, we're going to break down the best and worst contracts in today's NFL.
Right.
I do want to preface, there will be no rookie contracts in today's video. We're not going to say, wow, Howie Roseman is such a good GM for having Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean play for a combined $6.5 million in 2026, because that's kind of a loophole for the purpose of today's video. And
Just good drafting.
with countless rookie contracts across the league.
Just good
These
drafting.
will be contracts that are good or bad value for several high-profile players, and some will probably be worse than what you're expecting. And there is a lot to break down, and if you could like the video before we start,
Oh yeah, we know we got something to like. We know we got something to like.
Appreciated. And with that preface out of the way, let's begin.
Drafting doesn't, you know what I'm saying, doesn't count.
Today's video with Bears pass rusher Dayo Odeyingbo.
We're gonna pause it right there because this shit pisses me off. He's supposed to be a top edge rusher in the league. He was supposed to be one of those ones. Now I'm not saying he was supposed to be on Myles Garrett level or even James Pierce Jr. level. But god damn it, I wanted you to play out to the potential of your contract, and you haven't done that. And it really pisses me off because he has the talent, and honestly, our defense was subpar last year. Yeah, we had so many turnovers, but our defense as a whole was very subpar. But I have hope this year because Dennis Allen got rid of a lot of guys that are older and couldn't move as fast as he wanted to. We upgraded the linebacker room. We upgraded the secondary. The only thing we didn't upgrade was the D-line because we have hope in Austin Booker. We have hope in how do you say his damn name? And we have hope in everyone else on that line. But Montez Sweat, you got to be a leader in getting these guys' ass. No Diddy, because we need you to step it up too. And we need him to step it up as well.
The Bears signed Odeyingbo to a 3-year, $48 million contract last offseason, with 32 of it being guaranteed, and pertaining to their 2026 roster, this is not a good contract at all.
No.
It's not going to cripple them long term, obviously, but Dayo will have the 66th highest cap hit in the NFL this year, and that's per Spotrac.com, and, well, he's nowhere close to the 66th best player in the league. And for reference, Justin Jefferson has the 64th highest cap hit this year, and Lane Johnson has the 67th highest cap hit this year. What's really unfortunate for Odeyingbo specifically is he tore his Achilles in Week 9 last year against the Bengals and was already having a disappointing season relative to the player he was supposed to be, at least based on what he's getting paid.
Facts.
He had just 10 pressures on over 200 pass rushing snaps last year and had just 1 sack in 8 games. And if you know anything about the Bears defense from 2025, aside from how many turnovers they forced, shout out Nashawn Wright, it was that they struggled to get after the quarterback. And Dayo Odeyingbo unfortunately played a part within that. There was a Twitter joke this offseason about naming elite pass rushers in the NFL, such as guys like Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and a motivated Dayo Odeyingbo, and while that was hilarious, it was obviously a play on how bad of a contract this looks 1 year later. What really stinks for Odeyingbo is he tore his Achilles, which is obviously huge for pushing off as a pass rusher and having the get-off ability as the ball is snapped, because you never know how he's going to come back from a serious injury like a torn Achilles, and especially when the explosion is needed off the line, and as it's one of the most important parts of a pass rusher's game. The Bears can get out of this contract next year with just a $4.5 million dead cap hit in 2027.
And that's what they're going to
do.
do.
For now, this is not a good contract. Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson is another bad contract, as the cap hit in 2026 is a whopping $15.6 million, and per Spotrac,
I honestly think that's good though. Me personally, I feel like that's a good contract for where they're going into this year for the Vikings, because they got Kyler Murray at quarterback, which is a huge step up from JJ McCarthy. Let's be honest. Then you also have Jay Jettas, and then you have, I forgot the other name. Forgot his name. He played for Pitt and USC. It's bad I forgot his name. But you have two solid wide receivers. Then you also have a solid tight end. Can't really be mad at that. Only thing they need is a good running back to back that up. But yeah, the tight end room, TJ Hawkinson, nice.
Will be the highest paid tight end in the NFL this year.
Nice.
Now, when you hear $15 million and highest paid tight end, you may question how is that possible, because guys like Tucker Kraft and Sam Laporta are probably going to get an average of $20 million per year, or very close to it, and the short answer is money manipulation with the salary cap by the Vikings front office. Every team does this, and even for TJ specifically, when he signed his contract extension with Minnesota, he signed a 4-year $66 million contract, which is an average annual value of $16.5 million. Now, why this is a bad contract is TJ Hawkinson is not the same player he was a few years ago, not even close.
But you can't blame this on TJ Hawkinson. We have JJ McCarthy at quarterback. Well, you have JJ McCarthy at quarterback. It's a godsend that Jay Jettas was even able to get a 1,000-yard season. So I understand where he's coming from, but just you stat watching and not paying attention to the quarterback, it's going to make sense. You know what I'm saying? But if you're paying attention to the quarterback play, JJ, like, he was not put in the best position.
He unfortunately tore both his ACL and MCL late in the 2023 season and has not been the same player since. He had back-to-back 900-yard years in 2022 and 2023, spending half of the 2022 season with the Lions, and was a really good player at the start of his tenure in Minnesota. And during 2023, he finished just 40 yards shy of 1,000 yards. He was a player that would go up the seam and stretch the defense in the middle part of the field, which helped both Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, but has not been the same player since. And if you watch the Vikings play every week, TJ Hawkinson rarely makes a guy miss. He almost always goes down on first contact, and there's a reason he averaged a career-low 8.6 yards per catch in 2025. A lot of his receptions to this point are within 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, or at times, delayed routes out of the backfield where the defense is back in zone coverage, and the quarterback can dump it off to him for a free gain of 5 or 6 yards.
Come on now, it's Carson Wentz throwing him the ball, bro. I'm just saying, I hate to keep pausing, but I'm just saying it's Carson Wentz in 2025 throwing him the ball. What did you expect?
The trade for a 25-year-old tight end at the time in 2022 was fine, but unfortunately, due in large part to a major injury, this contract is really bad a couple of years later. Now, a lot of the time in the channel, we break down teams' futures by looking at their situations and players they're going to have to replace, whether it's in free agency or an NFL draft class, and with that idea in mind, it's never a bad idea to plan for your personal future. $150 million, you immediately think this is an insane deal. This is an insane amount of trust the Chiefs are giving at the time a 24 going on 25-year-old quarterback who had played 2 full seasons. But
honestly, I would have gave Patrick Mahomes the same damn contract. Like, they're the only people you can say that are better than Patrick Mahomes or on the same level as Patrick Mahomes: Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. And that's really it. And Joe Burrow. But honestly, Joe Burrow, he doesn't have anything to show for it. He has 1 Super Bowl appearance with a loss, no MVPs, no All-Pros. Like, you know, it kind of gets to a point, like, we see the talent on the field, but you have to make something work. You have one of the best offenses of all time, bro. You got Jamar Chase, who's arguably the best wide receiver in the league. You've got T. Higgins, who's arguably the best number 2 in the league and can really be a number 1 on a lot of teams. If he went to the Bears right now, he could be a number 1 receiver. Like, let's be honest about that. And come on, you got a solid O-line, a solid running back. Like, let's be for real about it. You're supposed to be performing way better than this. And you can throw Jalen Hurts in there if you want to. I personally don't throw Jalen Hurts in there, but you can throw him in there.
Loved the contract at the time it was signed because of what it represented down the road, and that very much also applies to his contract now. with Patrick Mahomes' contract, they can move money around, and they will move money around, because right now Patrick Mahomes, per Spotrac.com, has a cap hit in 2027 of $90 million, and in 2028 a cap hit of $85 million. And for reference, those cap hits, if they were to stay where they are, which by the way they're not, those percentage cap hits wise would be worse than what Deshaun Watson's were with the Browns at any point. Now, for transparency, the Browns have kicked Deshaun's money down the road, so his cap hits percentage-wise have decreased by the year. The reason we bring this up is because the Chiefs are going to do the same. They're not going to roll in the 2027 with Patrick Mahomes taking up $90 million of the salary cap, with his current cap percentage being near 28%. Even for as good as Patrick Mahomes is, that would not be a wise decision financially by GM Brett Veach to have your quarterback take up nearly 28% of the salary cap in one season.
I mean, yeah, that is true, but it's Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. And he, you know, it's kind of like you have to solidify that, because without Patrick Mahomes, they're going to go back to being a mediocre team. I remember KC with Alex Smith. Shout out Alex Smith. I really rotted out with Alex Smith. But let's not act like they were getting the job done with Alex Smith. They were getting knocked out the playoffs every single fucking year. They need to do this to retain Patrick Mahomes. So they didn't. They were going to go back to being mediocre. Especially, like, you put any other quarterback damn near on that roster besides the ones that I named. Who's taking that roster to the playoffs? No one. Not a damn soul. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a good contract.